start off by asking you, how has the reaction been back home to the latest Brexit extension?
It's seen as a positive development in Ireland. Anything that creates more time for the United Kingdom to reach an orderly agreement in relation to how they're going to leave the European Union is a positive development. Obviously, from an Irish point of view, we're very committed members of the European Union. Being members of the European Union, we see as being the greatest protection for the kind of uncertainty that Brexit may bring. And obviously then it gives Irish companies more time to organise their affairs in anticipation of Brexit actually happening.
Now, of course, one of the big sticking points has been around the Irish backstop. I want to ask you whether or not you think there is some elegant solution to this that simultaneously respects the Good Friday Agreement, but also allows the UK to be rule makers, not rule takers. Is there any elegant solution?
Well, there is a solution to how we can reconcile the commitments of the Good Friday Agreement with our membership of the European Union, and while respecting the decision of the United Kingdom to leave the European Union. But that solution is actually the backstop, because when you take a step back from all of the technicalities in relation to this and much of the political debate as well, if there's a commitment in two jurisdictions to avoid infrastructure on the border between the two jurisdictions, what you need to have is alignment of the standards on either side of that border. And that's what the backstop is. The backstop simply says if everything else fails, the capacity is there for regulatory alignment on both sides of the Irish border. We never want to see that backstop triggered unless it's in the most extreme of circumstances. And we would hope that the engagement that we would have with the UK through the EU would create an agreement that would avoid it ever being needed.
Would you be open to the idea of putting a timestamp on the backstop if it meant allowing for the withdrawal deal to go through? There were reports a couple of days ago suggesting that the Germans may be open to the idea of a 5-year timestamp on it. They were denied, but I'm just wondering if that is something you would be open to.
We've always been very clear that we wouldn't be able to agree to some kind of duration in relation to the operation of the backstop. The backstop is an insurance policy. And I'm sure you'll understand that if any of your viewers were buying an insurance policy for something that was really important to them, they would look to make sure it could work in all circumstances. And that is why the backstop, as it has been negotiated between the UK and the EU, in its current form, is an essential element of the withdrawal agreement.
Will you use this extra 6 months now to beef up your no-deal Brexit preparations?
We've done an awful lot to date. From an Irish point of view now, we have the infrastructure that we need in place in our two key ports and in our key airport. We've passed a very comprehensive piece of legislation to ensure that we will be able to maintain the status quo in the event of a disorderly Brexit. But what we will be doing is using this time to continue to encourage Irish companies to get their customs procedures in place to allow them to cope with a disorderly Brexit were one to occur by the end of October.
What happens to the border between Northern Ireland and Ireland in a hard Brexit scenario?
Well, in any kind of a Brexit scenario, whether it be a hard Brexit or a soft Brexit, we will need cooperation with the United Kingdom on issues like this, and the United Kingdom will need cooperation with Ireland on issues like this. It's why our relationship with the United Kingdom is so important for both from an Irish point of view and a UK point of view. But to deal with your question, were something like that to happen, we're members of the European Union, and we'd have to discuss how this issue could be managed with the Commission and with the United Kingdom. But we would be very clear that in a scenario like that, Ireland would act to protect the single market, and we would apply the full acquis of the European Union.
So no inclination to put up physical infrastructure then on a hard Brexit?
We will not be putting in place any infrastructure on the border between Northern Ireland and Ireland. This is exactly what we're trying to avoid. It's why we need a backstop.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Joumanna Bercetche, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.